Hey guys, it's Brian Kirk again, and this time we're going to be looking at 3A. We're going to do a little something a little bit more creative as well. So we're going to create some drum patterns like we did in 3. So you can see, here's 3A, I already have it up for you. Okay, so that's already there. But you guys know how to make patterns now. So what we're going to do is you can keep that pattern, right? But we're going to add a new note lane. Okay, so then we're going to mute this one so that you literally don't have to hear it. And then we're going to create a pattern using the B bank, because what A bank's taken, once again, you can use B or C, but let's go to B bank. Those patterns were already the same ones we had in 3, sorry. And so I'm going to go to B bank, and I'm going to select 1, and then, 5, 9, 13, and then I'm going to let it run. Right. It's an accident. There it is. Okay. Sounded good though. Snare drum. 5 and 13. The basic 2 and 4, right? Good. Here's my pattern so far. Hi-hat. Select it. Fast mouse here. There it is. That's nice. Nope. Okay, I'll look at that. Tom. That one. Okay. Too much. There it is. Cowbell. And a little crash cymbal on 1. Good. Alright, there's my pattern. I'm happy with it. So what you're going to do is create some variations as well. But I got to show you some other stuff to create it. Like a beat, plus your song, plus other things that we're going to do in this lesson. Okay, so this is, I'm going to call this B, which is what it is. B1. Between the locators, I'm just going to fill out this whole thing here. Right, so I'm going to right click, copy pattern to track. You'll see it down here. And there's that whole thing. Okay, so let's just take off the sequencer, let it play. Hit the space bar. Right, there it is. So that's muted. Good. Now, let me show you something. There is a bass part in here that I'm going to use, and it fits any kind of groove. So I'm going to show you how to grab that bass part, because we're going to add some loops and record with a pencil tool. So here you go. We're going to use this. Boom. Create a pattern. The matrix pattern sequencer is our next tutorial for making bass lines, right? So I'm just going to show you how it works. It's too fast. Okay, come on. Okay, there we go. And there's the patterns there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, new note lane, right? And then I'm going to copy that whole pattern, that bass pattern here. Now you guys can break it up in different measures. You know how that works now. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to right click the matrix and then copy pattern to track. And that bass line is there. I'll show you. I'll solo it. Hit run. There it is. Okay, there's the bass line you guys are going to compose with. Now, let me show you some edit. Control E is going to show you where the pitch area is, where the notes are written in, right here. So those are your tonal centers. You guys are familiar with those. You are in the key of F, okay, and it goes back to E flat, F, E flat. It's kind of an easy little line here, right? I'll play it. There's my bass drum with it. There's my part with it. Go back to Control E, and I go out of the edit mode. And so I've got a bass here, right? Now, let's go to congas, because the actual Dr. Octorex loop player has some loops in there that we can actually compose with. Instead of using what's there, the congas, we can go in, unfold the programmer, which is what I just did. I'll show you that again. Unfold the programmer, and here you can kind of see where the loops lay. The initial patch here, you can initiate patch here, but literally you want to go here and find some loops. So let's say I want to go in and I'm going to go to Dr. Octorex loop player here. What did I do? Here we go. And I'm going to go and find, where is it? There it is. Reason Factory Sound Bank. And I'm going to go to, let's go to some Rex drum loops. Okay. So I'm going to go here, and it was there already. Let me go find maybe Electric House, right? Here's some drum loops that I can kind of, here's an Electric House beat, kind of fits mine. So I'm going to put that, I'm going to double click it, and it just got in there, right? And it's playing. All right, so what I'm going to do is that now those congas have changed. They're no longer congas. I'm going to change the name. Electric House, right? Hit enter. That's Electric House. And then I'm going to go right down to it, and I'm going to copy. I'll make sure I got a new note lane though. New note lane. There it is. And then I'm going to, oops, that's the wrong one. Right here. I'm going to get a new note lane right there. And I'm going to copy loop to track. So now you can see that the loop is there. Let's solo it. Sounds a little different because it's going through the initial patch that we had before, right? So we want to make sure, let's see if I did it right. Oh yeah, I know what I did. We're going to enable that loop playback. There we go. So then when we play it, let's make sure. Oh, it sounds different. Okay, so that's not the one I want. Let's do this one. Let's go over here. Let's go back. Dr. Rex instrument loops. We can do that. And let's grab a maybe a guitar loop, right? Let's see what we got. See if I can put that in there. Now we want to be in the key of F. So let's find one in F. And that'll be okay. So these are loops in here that you actually can use. We can see if there's a wah-wah pattern that might work in here. Yeah, that might work. Instead, so we can get rid of the one we had, right? Just backspace, delete it. New note lane. That's correct. And there's a wah-wah pattern. Let's copy that wah-wah to track. All right. Let's solo it, see what it sounds like. It's a little higher, so we're going to have to bring down the actual loop level. Yeah, there we go. Transpose the loop. There we go. So what it did was it actually transposed to the actual key that we're in with the bass line. It's kind of interesting how that works. Okay, so now we got that loop, we got my drum part, and then I want to create something else. I can either do another strat, another Dr. Octorex loop if I want to, but I want to show you the pencil tool. So I'm going to go into the actual Rhodes area, and I'm going to select Control E, okay? And once I do that and create a new note lane, you'll see this. And this is the keyboard area. Those of you who have Reason, you can play right into it. But the remote people, you guys who are using Reason 10 remotely, your keyboard does not find Reason. So we're going to be using the pencil tool to draw in the notes that we want to play. So I'm going to grab some sound and see where they are. There's F. There's an A flat. There's a C. So let's do this. We know it's an F. So I'm going to go F. And then maybe A flat. Draw that in. And then I'm going to go E flat. Because I know it goes back down there. And then I'm going to make it a little longer. And then I'm going to go back to F. Oops. I can bring it down to F. Like this. There it is. And just make it a little longer. And take this out totally. And then do this again. Yep. And then find F. There it is. And then hit the pencil tool. And make it F. There it is. Good. Now let me see what it sounds like. Because I'm going to solo it. Okay, it's a little short, but I can make them longer in terms of value up here. Okay, so let's just take that, Control E, and now I've got this here. I literally can do what we normally do, which is highlight it, Control C, right? Maybe space it out a little right here. And bring this over here. And then right here. And then Control V. And then maybe bring it over here a little bit. And do the same thing. Control V. And then Control V. Good. Now let's see what we have when we start playing this thing together. Good. So now we gotta mix it, right? Things are just way too high. Good. Okay. So now, this is how you guys are going to actually create songs. In remote, you guys are going to be using the pencil tool to create and using loops out of the Dr. Octorex and various devices. For instance, I can go to organ right now. And there it is. Right click. New note lane. Control E. Take a pencil tool. I know where the notes were, F. So I can actually start to think about, okay, between a certain note, right, I might want to, yeah. All right, and then down here, I might want to do the F again. Right. Good. And let's see what that sounds like. So here's Control E. You can see it now, it's been written here. Let's see what it sounds like just for this little piece. Okay, so it's not bad. So what I want to do is grab this, bring this here, and then with the cursor, highlight it, Control C, and then I'm going to bring it over the organ. Control V, and then I might do Control V again, and then again, just for kicks, see what happens. Okay, so then this whole thing, let's do this. Control C, bring it over here. Oops, yeah, right there. Control V, V, V. All right, so that's kind of like, I'm gonna bring this down just a little bit. I need a compressor and all this stuff, but we can do that later. Not bad. I don't like my organ part, so I literally would change that. I'd go in and say, okay, you know, let me just go in here, Control E. I don't like my organ part. Take a pencil, the eraser, just get rid of it, and do something else. Do something a little bit more linear that doesn't get in the way, right? But the notes are right. You just need to go and maybe do this, right? And just let it hold. All right, let's see what happens with that. Control E. Yep, and then let's get rid of what I had before on the sequencer. Good. Let's just play this, see what it sounds like. Oh yeah, there we go. Now let's see it. Good. So what I can do, let's say I like that. You know, I would mess around with this for a little bit longer, guys, just to make it really cool. And then Control. I'm highlighting this, the organ part, and I'm gonna hit Control C, right? And then I'm gonna hit Control V and put it right where it needs to go. I had the control button down, sorry. There we go. Okay. Oops. We'll fix that later. Let's see what happens now. Not bad. So right now, I've got like 3A, kind of a new song. And I'm going to escape from Control C, that. Good. Okay, so what I'm asking you to do with 3A is create your own beat. Start using the bass line that's there. Go back and use, go back and see this tutorial, because what I did was copy the right click here, right? So I could create that pattern. There's a couple of patterns in the Matrix pattern sequencer that you can use. All you have to do is between the locators, decide I want to use that bass line, either the pattern 1, 2, or 3, and it's playing, just so you know, Control E, oops, sorry, Control E, tab, hit the tab key, and you can see that the Matrix is hooked up to the subtractor. So then I'm going to go Control E again, or tab, sorry. And Control E, forget that. And then I know, okay, I want to use that same bass pattern, or I might want to use this one. I don't know. There's 2. There's 3. There will be a lesson on the Matrix, but you kind of get the idea now. It's a pattern sequencer that's playing the bass sound out of here. Okay, and once again, you can change all the sounds. But they kind of set this up for you to have success with your first kind of drum groove, bass groove. Um, and I'm asking you to get creative and start using your pencil tool if you're in Reason 10. If you are in Reason 11 or intro, you guys have freedom to use your keyboard because it recognizes your keyboard. The remote does not. So we're going to have to use a pencil tool and loops to compose our music. Okay? All right. So I kind of did a little rough around the edges, but you guys get the idea that you're going to be using Redrum, the subtractor bass pattern that's there coming off the matrix pattern. I want you to go in and change. Find a loop that you like. Okay, go in here and make sure you change it. So now it's not house anymore, it's wah loop, right? So you always know what it is. And then I can go in here and create a strat, instead of this, I could use a strat loop this there. Let's play it. Let's hit it. Sorry. It's not a bad loop, okay? So it's from the Barcase, Son of Shaft. It's not a bad loop. Okay, it's running. Good, we can take it off. Okay, so now if you like it, let's go ahead and here it is, right click. New note lane. Now it's enabled. We can copy that loop to track. It will automatically do it because it knows where you want to work. So all you do, is copy loop to track. That Stratocaster loop is now there. Solo it so you can hear it. There it is. So when I bring my organ up, okay, you guys see how that works? Now that's way too fast for all those sounds going on. Let's go 98. There it is. Now I can color code all of these, right? Right click, clip, green. Right click, color. Oops, moving too fast. There it is. Okay? So I literally can color everything so it really looks kind of special to me. And it kind of stands out in terms of what I know what colors associated with what. But I've basically taken 3A and composed my own song from it using the things that were there. You can create more variations in Redrum. Please do. You can create fills. You know how to do it now in terms of using different banks. Use B. If you want to use the A bank, they're already made, but here's a creative assignment for you. Use B, C, and D. Create your own patterns, okay? If you have any issues, we'll talk about it at our session, but I think it's pretty clear now, and I like the song. It's my kind of a put together on the fly. And then I would do is compression for days, right? I would take some compression in here. I'd right click. I'd go to effects. I'd get an in-class compressor, and I would really mix the heck out of this thing and make it work, right? EQ it. All the stuff we talked about before. Oops. There it is. Come on. EQ it. Get a little reverb. Right. And then I start to bring the input in. Go to the mixer, bring that down. Just a hair. Right. Take it all solo. Yeah. Okay. So add a compressor, right, to everything you do. That way you'll be able to really create something smooth, right? Compressor to each device, not the matrix. Compressor to the actual device where the sound is coming from. And effects, compressor, right? Add a compressor to the Strat, add a compressor to the NN19 organ, all of that. So that you really can mix the sound after you finish with it, okay? So that's 3A. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have fun with this. I want to hear some really cool sounds, man, when you finish this thing. Okay, see you soon.